Education policy has been a hot topic of discussion at the Texas Capitol this week, and one of the state's largest teachers unions, the Texas American Federation of Teachers, has unveiled its legislative priorities that they say are crucial in order to retain teachers and do right by students. And joining us to talk about these priorities is Tammy Conrad, a board member of Education Round Rock, which is the local AFT chapter up in Round Rock. Tammy, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me, John.
Our pleasure. Well, Tammy, I want to mention also that you are a teacher at Summer Elementary in Round Rock. Just based on your own experience, what are your biggest concerns right now about the state of K through 12 education here in Texas?
Well, I'm very concerned about teacher retention or staff retention, not just teachers. I see people leaving every year. I see people leaving mid-year for a variety of reasons, and a big one is salaries. I just know somebody who left about 3 weeks ago, a paraprofessional, and she couldn't afford to live and support her family on the salary she was making. So she went to the corporate world and is making twice as much money. And that's great for her, but sad for our students who are losing a teacher, and sad for the other employees who have to work harder until they hire someone else.
So you're saying salaries, that's the big thing. That's the biggest reason why teachers are leaving.
I think that's a big thing. It's also all the things that have piled on since COVID hit. It's been a long 3 years now, I believe. First, teachers had to learn to adjust to online learning and teaching, and then some teachers had to do hybrid teaching with some kids in the classroom and some kids virtual. And it just has continued to be extra work every year because of those types of things.
So obviously it makes sense that a lot of the Texas AFT's priorities center around this issue, right? Trying to stem that shortage, stem that kind of mass exodus of public school teachers in our state. What do you think are the best ways to do that, and what are you proposing this session?
Well, Texas AFT, with their Respect Pledge, one of the things they're proposing and asking for, and actually we're going to demand it, is a $10,000 salary increase for educators, and then a 15% increase for other staff members. That's one way to keep employees, if we can pay them more money. But of course, we're also asking that the state increase the basic allotment for student funding. Right now, depending on which survey you look at, we're at the bottom compared to other states across the nation. We're at about 39th per student funding compared to other states. And that's just not right. For a state as great as Texas, that has so much funding available, so much surplus, we should be funding our public education schools appropriately.
Last thing I wanted to ask you, I know it's not lost on teachers. This is the first legislative session since Uvalde. How important is it that lawmakers take action on things like mental health and school safety?
It's very important. One of the things on our Respect Pledge is that we want to see there be a school nurse and a mental health professional at every campus, and that the number of those professionals on campuses be dependent on how many students there are. It just makes good sense for our students to be safe and to have people to talk to and help them. And then, of course, we also have school safety on our pledge as well. And that comes back in a lot of ways to funding. If we're funded appropriately, then we can do things to make our schools safer. But of course, we also need to look at changing the gun laws to keep those guns out of the hands of people that don't need to have them.
All right, Tammy Conrad from Education Round Rock. Tammy, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your perspective, and thank you for your service as a teacher. We appreciate it.
Thank you. I enjoyed it. Thank you.